congressional leaders to vote on the Syrian crisis. ABC 12's Washington correspondent Ted Fioraliso spent the day talking to Michigan lawmakers about where they stand.
Several developments on the Syria front today, including the Assad regime accepting a Russian proposal to put its chemical weapons under international control, and a bipartisan alternative in the Senate to a U.S. attack. This all comes just hours before President Obama will deliver his remarks to the nation from the East Room, stating his case for military force in Syria. In regards to that alternative plan, the Associated Press reports it would call on the UN Security Council to state Syria has chemical weapons and require a UN team to remove them. Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, Senator Carl Levin of Michigan, and Senator Bob Casey are part of this bipartisan group working on the plan.
If the Syrian regime and the Russian Federation do what they have to do, and it's all up to them, they've got to do pretty much all the work. If they can meet those goals in a very, very tight time frame, then maybe that can be the basis for not using force at this time.
So where do our local lawmakers stand on using force against Syria? Right now, Senator Carl Levin supports it. Congresswoman Candace Miller is against it, and Congressman Dave Camp and Dan Kildee are still undecided. I didn't hear back from Senator Stabenow's office by deadline. I spoke to Miller and Kildee about President Obama's speech to the nation tonight.
Well, obviously much of the focus is on his characterization of this diplomatic and political opportunity. I think we know where he stands on the question of whether or not chemical weapons were used and whether or not he feels the U.S. should be authorized, whether he should be authorized to use military action. I've not made up my mind on that question.
Is there anything the president can say in his speech to the nation tonight that could change your mind?
No, really. I mean, I've been to a number of classified briefings. I have listened to everything the president has said. I have listened very attentively to Secretary Kerry.
Debate on Syria could begin later this week and a vote as early as next week in both the House and the Senate. The question remains, however, will President Obama go ahead with force even if Congress votes it down? Reporting in Washington, I'm Ted Fioraliso.
President Obama will address the nation on the